which aspect of Gandhiji's, leadership have you also imbibed in your own?
No, as I said, it is
walking the talk.
It is walking the talk, leadership by example. You see, you people know better than I do. He would travel across the country. He insisted on traveling by third class. Those days, there used to be a thing called third class. It would be crowded. And people were scared that maybe the British may bump him off. And he used to get down in every station. There'll be thousands of people crowding him. So people had to protect him. And he would want to eat the same food as them because he was demonstrating to the entire country that he was one with the way they lived, one with their own lifestyles, one with their own aspirations, etc. So therefore, I think Mahatma Gandhi has given us an extraordinary lesson, particularly for corporate leaders like us, in order to be compassionate people in our work, in order to suppress our greed, in order to reduce the ratio of the salary of the highest person to the lowest person in a company, in order to look at how a decision taken in the boardroom will affect the poorest employee.
The poorest of the poor.
I think these are things that no other leader in India demonstrated. So therefore, for me, Mahatma Gandhi is the finest leader, not just in India, in the entire world.
Can I share some things with you?
Sure.
So I've, at least by noticing, it's very clear that there are two very big qualities, that something which you've definitely imbibed, which is simplicity. When we asked Ila,
Of course.
She said that the one thing she admired about Gandhi was his simplicity, and simplicity is also, I see that in everything that you said and you do, and all that you represent for that matter. And the second which you mentioned is austerity. Even this office, or how you are personally dressed, for your everything. I think that's absolute speaks volumes about how you have personally imbibed those qualities absolutely clearly. And I thank you for that.
In 1981, when we founded Infosys, when we went abroad, everybody is saying there is a filthy country, roads are dirty, offices are third rate. But you go to the house of the industrialists, it is top quality, very good. This is not our house, this is our office.
Yeah.
But you come to our house and see, it is, I personally feel that we lead a very simple life, very, very simple life. It's just, it's like anybody. Now, that is needed from my perspective because this country made a science of using public property to enrich oneself. That is the science that we have perfected. As I told you, nowadays is slightly better because the country has also progressed economically. In the 70s and 80s, you go to offices, you go to factories, they would be so dirty, but you go to the industrialist's house, oh my God, it's
like Taj Mahal.
It's like paradise.
Absolutely true.
Now, I said when I founded Infosys, I'm going to do exactly opposite. My office, our office will be no less than any clean, reasonably good office in the West. because but my house will be very, very simple. So I completely reversed. You go to any office of Infosys, it is no less than Microsoft, no less than Apple, nothing. But you come to my house, we live on a very small road, and it's a 60-40 plot.
60-40 plot, not bad.
Yeah. So I think because I just wanted to demonstrate that we are not people who will use the public resources to lead a comfortable life in private. That's another thing.
Is that hard to do, or is that quite natural?
No, nothing is hard. Nothing is.
It's not hard.
It is just a question of how your parents brought you up. It's just a question of who your teachers were. It's just a question of who your friends are. It's all about culture. What is culture? Culture is about what your aspirations are, what brings you joy, what makes you sad, who your friends are, how you spend your time. So that is culture. So that culture is built up first by the mother. And of course, father also plays certain role, but by and large it's the mother.
Agreed.
And second, your early teachers. They play a very, very important role. They are highly impressionable. The kids are highly impressionable. Therefore, they watch the teachers and they learn. So I think that is the biggest challenge we have in this country, because we have some very good leaders at the top. That quality of leadership has to come down to the lowest level in the country if this country has to really move towards Ramarajya. And that will only happen by changing the culture.
And who else may have influenced you aside of Gandhiji? There must be, like you said, parents naturally, teachers of course, but were you influenced by, for instance, Vivekananda, by, I see the Beatles here, Dilip Kumar. So I'm not sure could you pick a couple of them, just so we can.
No, I think first of all, my father influenced us. We are 8 children. In terms of aspiring high as students, in learning English, which he considered was very important, which I agree with him even today, that English is the language that has so much of scientific and mathematics and other information. We cannot afford to lose our grip on English. He focused on discipline. So he introduced me to Western classical music, all of that. So he was a high school teacher. So those things I learned from my father. My mother taught us generosity, compassion, sacrifice. There used to be so many times when my father would bring some friend, and those days there was all the wood stove. There was only wood stove. There was not even charcoal stove. The poor lady, she would take 3-4 hours to prepare food, and then she would serve the guest and she would go hungry. We would say, no, why are you doing this? So, Atithi Deva Bhava, that's what our culture says. Guest is like God. So I think those things came from the mother.